the room and we'll let people in.
Yes.
Because after the last meeting, somebody said that they were in a room waiting to be let in by somebody. And
Really?
so I imagine somebody from IT is monitoring this. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I think it's a
Okay.
quirk of Zoom, because I've had that same experience where it's like you go round and round, and eventually you're able to get in there because you sign off and you now go a different direction, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, but we have IT on, definitely.
Okay. How you doing, Orlando? We're going to go ahead and get started. We have a short meeting today due to some requirements by City Hall. So we need to be done by 6:50. So I'm going to bypass the roll call. We are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I have my flag already. So if we could start, I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United
of the
States.
United States of America and to the
And
republic
for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with
and justice for all.
for all.
Under God, that's right. So we had a guest scheduled to come on today, Jerry Altieri. I don't see him on yet. There's still only 6 participants. What you see is whoever's on there. Jerry works for the Cohen Veterans Network. And is doing some great things. Is actually going to be our guest speaker at Veterans Day in Norwalk. So I guess at this point on the agenda, since he's not on, that's the public forum piece. The next is committee chairman comments. So got a few things to talk about, and I'll recap a lot of this in the minutes. You know, I tend to be over thorough on the minutes, but it's a good form of documentation where I can look back and remember where we were on certain topics. But so the VA moved to Norwalk. I assume that is still on, but being
Yes.
hijacked a little by coronavirus. And Irene, you seem fairly confident that that's going to happen, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to death about that. The Veterans Advocate Award had some thoughts that since we haven't been able to really, nominate and put a package together for anybody, we did have King Industries was our Q1 nominee, and we really haven't done anything since. I'm going to motion that we move that to 2021 and start over. Yeah, okay, I'm getting nods. I'll consider that a unanimous approval on that. I am working on the veteran binder sporadically. I'm close to being able to do something with it, but I have a disconnect on, we're dealing with 2 populations, one that's social media and digital savvy, and then another population that you have to mail it out or they're not going to get it or make it available at City Hall. So it's almost like 3 ways we have to distribute this. So I'm going to kind of back burner that till after the first of the year. Moving on to the Veteran Registry, I imagine there hasn't been an update on that. As I understand it, the IT department of City Hall has been very busy getting employees able to work from home and access the files from home as well. So I imagine that's quite a crunch there, and that's okay. I mean, it can wait, but definitely on the list, and I don't want to let that fall off of our to-do list at all. Veteran-owned business registry. I've spoken to Brian Griffin briefly. He couldn't make it today. I still feel very strongly about this. There's got to be a way to capture this. Nationally, the Small Business Administration is doing a lot of things for veteranpreneurs. It's their buzzword. Really encouraging veteran-owned businesses. A lot of free training. There's grant money available, that sort of thing, and getting the word out. Incredibly important on that. But again, it's our audience for something like that. It's probably younger people with a business plan, maybe fresh out of college and kind of looking to start a business. And I know that the NCC Veterans Group, Barbara, who is kind of the liaison from staff and faculty to that group, she doesn't even have a full email list yet for this school year. So, it's sad that we were on a roll to get a lot done this year, and we still got a lot done, and I'll kind of talk about some of that. But a lot of this is going to have to wait till next year, and when COVID-19 is well behind us.
Yeah.
You want to bring up Vets Rock is at Mohegan Sun on Friday. It starts at noon, goes till 6 o'clock. You have to register online. There is a save a suit function where you go and you get measured for a free suit for job interviews and things like that. I do plan on going. I know the state offices of both the American Legion and the VFW will both be there to help people with disability claims and maybe signing people up for membership, that sort of thing. Veterans Day, which is next Wednesday, is scheduled for Vets Park this year. The crowd will be strictly controlled by North Police Department because we're back in phase 2. It's going to be capped at 100 people. So I don't know, somehow, some way with a clicker, they're going to meter people in and then cut it off at some point. But we do have a guest speaker. We do have an E7 Army guy that's in the recruiting office in Stanford that's going to sing the national anthem. We've got a bagpiper from fire department, no band, really condensed format at the request of the mayor to kind of limit exposure. And it's going to be in the middle of Vets Park, and kind of the backdrop of this is going to be the Exchange Club Field of Flags that they do every year. They're going to go and put those in the ground on the 8th or 9th. And then when our ceremony or event is done, they're going to use the showmobile to kind of do some remarks too shortly after ours. I don't know what that looks like exactly, but
That's on the 11th?
That's on the 11th. And the decision that there is a plan B in case the weather gets, a little ugly. And I've seen it kind of fluctuate in the forecast, and it's way too early to tell, but plan B is City Hall. The mayor has agreed to let us use the concert hall, but again, capping the audience. Masks are mandatory, social distancing mandatory. We're going to block off every other row if we have to move it inside, that sort of thing. And then music wise, we're going to use the system. We have a PA system for Vets Park, and then Concert Hall has their own PA. So we're going to get some help there. I have some interesting stats. Our guest speaker tonight would have spoken about this, but very interesting thing. And the veteran population in Connecticut is 6% of the total population. The veteran population in Fairfield County is 3%. So roughly half of the other counties in the state. By far, Vietnam veterans outnumber the rest of the conflicts that we represent. And so really it's only 2,096 wartime veterans in Fairfield County, which surprises me. And it illustrates the struggle that the VFW and American Legion have in Norwalk of gaining new members. Once a young person leaves and joins, it'll move back because it's expensive here unless they're moving back to their parents' house, which is very common these days, actually. So, and then to capture them, to give them a reason to come to a meeting, to get involved in the core mission. The demographic of a typical veteran service organization member is you don't catch them until after the kids are off to college, because then mom or dad, whoever the veteran is in the house, is then looking for something to do to get involved in the community somehow. So young people typically don't join. I know I didn't until I was well into my 30s, but another Small Business Administration thing, a military to machinist program, and I'll put some attachments on the minutes about that. November 12th, Norwalk Public Library is going to have a Zoom in honor of our veterans, they're calling it. It's at 6:30 p.m. Two presenters. One wrote a book on brothers buried side by side in national cemeteries around the world. He lives in Rowayton, and the book's available out on Amazon. So he's going to open, and then I'll be the second and final speaker, talk about my project, NorwalkCTHeroes.org, which I've been knee deep in, and now I'm onto the Civil War list, and that's a lot more people than I thought that would be on that list, and basically covering everybody from Norwalk that was either killed in action or wounded in action in every conflict. I'm done with the Revolutionary War list, but if you haven't been out to the site, we got a lot of hits yesterday for some reason, over 100. Somebody was doing some research, I guess, I don't know, which is great. That's why it's there, free information for people. I spoke about in the past about getting Daniel Shay's monument or his footstone replaced in St. John's. Sent off the form, that was declined by the VA. Requests for the replacement of government headstones and markers will only be honored when inscriptions are worn to the point that they can no longer be read, or if the headstone is otherwise damaged beyond repair. And that's not the case with his. It's basically the corners are chipped off. And since he's a Medal of Honor recipient, I felt it necessary to get that replaced. And I rolled in the family. I was in touch with his brother and his brother's wife, and there's a nephew that lives in Stratford also, and they were all involved in this, and we're looking forward to it. And kind of disappointing, but to kind of recap the year, it's been a good year. We got the banner program done. If you've been down Seaview Avenue and into Vets Park, great response to that. There's a lot of people that wanted a banner this year, and I had to tell them that the program's cut off, but next year we're going to open it up to the public where either a business or a family can sponsor a banner. And I've got the application done, but handling the finances of that, it's going to be roughly $50 to $70 each. And I don't know how to do that where it's a city program. The checks would have to come into City Hall, have to be given to the comptroller's office, and the banner purchase, and the whole nuts and bolts of how that's going to work. We'll figure that out come January, February. We'll make the application available sometime in March with the goal to have those hung by Memorial Day, and maybe even use East Avenue if we can. But so that's the goal there. Got the website done. We had the Purple Heart event in August. We haven't met since August either. One of the reasons for that was I missed something in the administration of getting these meetings posted, and that's why we didn't meet last month. Totally my fault. But yeah, so the Purple Heart event happened August 7th. There was actually in attendance a 97-year-old Purple Heart recipient, and got the greatest applause, and his family, a lot of his family were there. He ended up passing away in October, so nice that the city had a chance to honor him. There are 119 that we know of Norwalk residents that are Purple Heart Medal recipients, and the goal is to get a monument placed in Vets Park to honor our combat wounded as well. So, despite COVID and all that, we were able to pull that off. We had it in a church on West Avenue, Artie Kasimis's church, and he was receptive to hosting it there, and masks and social distancing and everything, and it was videoed. It's out on YouTube. So I consider, those kind of three things: the banners, the website, and then the Purple Heart event. Despite everything going on in the world right now, we managed to get that done as a committee, and pretty proud of that. And I'll talk about some of that at Veterans Day, just so the community, the residents know that this committee continue to work hard despite some setbacks. And I'm not sure other committees has had the success that we've had, so pretty proud of the effort. And yeah, so that's about it for my comments. Old business kind of talked about this, the Veterans Advocate Award, the resource directory for veterans. We'll get that figured out. Outreach to veterans and their families, that continues. Sometimes Irene will get a call, somebody needs a grass cut or something like that, and then the call ends up coming to me. And I've had 2 or 3 cases, I guess, this year, and it's always a pleasure for me to help out families. So keep that going, Irene, wherever I can help.
Thank you.
Yep, the Veteran Registry partnership with Norwalk Chamber of Commerce. There was no new business, so I really didn't have much more than that. And I would also kind of make a motion that we not meet in December either. Seems like everything that I've talked about that is pending business is still on the back burner because of COVID-19, and so.
Yeah.
And plus, the next meeting scheduled for Pearl Harbor Day. I know the city's going to do an event. They always do. And the American Legion duplicates that too, where they read the names of the 19 Connecticut residents killed at Pearl Harbor. And, you hit a bell after each name. You talk about their rank, their branch of service, where they were in the Pearl Harbor area. They weren't all in Pearl Harbor. Some were in some outlying Army posts, and then what city they're from. And I've done a lot of research on those 19 as well. And that's out all on that website is that anybody can get to around the state, that if they want to duplicate this ceremony on December 7th, certainly the information's out there to kind of address that. So I don't know. Nobody else waiting to get in the meeting. I assume I don't want to lock anybody out. I don't see anywhere on my screen where I can monitor people coming in and out. So I'll have to hope that IT is doing that for us. But I guess we can kind of go around virtually around the room. Leon, how are you doing? What's going on with you?
Well, obviously, I'm spending a lot of time with lifetime learners. We got a number of challenges. One of the things we have lost, appears we have lost. We don't know if it's permanent or not, but our membership has greatly declined. That's part of what of our income is. One of the things that I just wrote a letter of appeal, an appeal letter that's going to be going out shortly, but basically there are a number of members who choose not to participate in a electronic Zoom type meeting. And then there are others, believe it or not, that don't have the capacity to do it. We are obviously, I think the average age is like 74, and from the youngest to the oldest, we have 90-year-olds and so forth. So a lot of them won't do that. So it's a challenge looking ahead. We're trying to noodle this out. One of the things I'm trying to do is I started doing on my own is starting to try to reach out to other groups so that we could do things in a cooperative way. Right now I got a call to Norfolk Symphony because Jonathan Yates has done various presentations at our place. And when you mentioned the fact that the library one on the 12th, I'm trying to, I haven't had a chance yet, but tomorrow I'll probably be calling in the morning, see if I could set something up where some of our members that are veterans that may not have library cards, but they have student IDs, could that be used as a ticket into the library for various things they're doing? So it's that type of thing. We're trying to think out of the box. I think all of us are trying to do that right now.
You're right about that. You know, I've had a lot of interaction with the library over the last couple of years, and I have gained an immense appreciation for what they do. They have certainly proved their value and their relevance these days. And, you know, the staff there, especially down in the history room, have been very accommodating to me, and even allowed me in there by an appointment. I was able to sit down for a couple hours and look through some things. And they've been great. And it's sorry to hear that Christine Bradley has left. She took the early retirement.
Yeah.
As did a lot of employees in the library. So they're a little bit of a bind right now too. Just can't wait for this to get behind us. Oh man!
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Alex Knopp had spoken to our Lunch and Learn group, and it was very interesting what he presented. It generated a bit of a discussion.
I imagine so. Yeah. You know, I've got my library card right here. This number on my barcode gets me access to all sorts of things out there. And one of the main things I've been using is this newspaper archive of the Norwalk Hour. They just added another 30 years of the Norwalk Hour scanned editions that are searchable. And that's been a huge resource for me. So, yeah. Anything else?
My library card's in my wallet, but I'm not using it. I'm not sitting on my wallet at the moment.
Right. Fred, how are you? You got a big day tomorrow.
Well, you know, yes. You mentioned, Leon, I think you mentioned earlier about door knocking, and yes, I've been doing a lot of door knocking the last 4 months. But one of the things that I think you might find interesting, Jeff, is that as I've gotten to chat with people and gotten to know them, I've learned we're a number of households where there's veterans there, or there's someone in the household with a veteran. And what I could do is, you know, when I compile all my paperwork, I could send that over to you. I think there's certainly where I was in the district, I think there's about maybe 300 or 400 people who are veterans or have some sort of connection, and I could get you a list of those names and addresses. And I know earlier, a year ago, Jeff, you're talking about maybe reaching out to folks and trying to find out who exactly would be a target audience. And, I could provide you at least a partial list of names.
Thank you. I would love that. It would be great if all the door knockers out there would do that for us. But yeah, I'm like Leon. I'm in the 143rd also, and this section of town, there's certain things, people that fly the flag, you kind of think that that's probably a veteran, and if not, maybe the son or daughter of a veteran, and that might be getting veteran benefits in the house. So, and I know as you were door knocking, did you have access to software where as you approached the door, you knew who was going to answer, where they leaned politically, whether they were, gun owners, that sort of thing? Was that available to you?
There's such a thing. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yes.
maybe that database can be mined for the same kind of data that we're looking for here, so.
Well, yes, actually. Yeah, there's, I would venture that in Norwalk, there's probably at least several hundred households where there's a veteran or someone with a military background. And,
Yeah.
that information's out there, and I think it'd be great, a great contact for the committee,
Sure. And
Yes.
Larry Cafaro did manage to get a list from the tax collector's office. As I recall, 1,200 names, something like that on there. Not all of them are veterans, but are the surviving family member of a veteran, and still in that house get the property tax break on their assessment, that sort of thing. So there's that we can work from. But I mean, think about the price tag, a 55-cent stamp out to 1,200 houses, to do that even once. I mean, we do have a budget, and we didn't use all of it this year.
Well,
so.
having sent out about 5,000 letters, that's about, that doesn't sound so big to me, Jeff. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, $600,
And there might be, the city might have a bulk permit where you get a reduced rate, where a 55-cent stamp actually gets knocked down in 38
Yeah.
cents.
Well,
or
yeah,
something like
everybody
that.
uses mailing houses. I mean, Irene, I'm sure, you're as
Yeah.
well, you're familiar. Yeah, you can
Right.
get basically first class, mailing at, as low as 22, 25 cents, first class mailing.
But however, you have the mailing house charges there. It depends how much you're going to do with regard to that. One of the things we're obviously looking at nickels and dimes, lifetime learners, is we're having them basically address the envelopes, and we do the stuffing, as opposed to letting them do more than they have to. One other thing, Jeff, one of the things you said, most of the veterans, most of the houses that fly flags are veterans. Well, I have two neighbors right here that neither one were veterans.
Good for them. I
I
wish
think there
every
are a lot
house
of,
had a
I think there are
flag.
a lot more people that fly flags than you would, than
Oh, yeah.
you would think.
I have to tell you, there's, well, I knocked on about 4,500 doors.
Wow.
Just finished yesterday. Starting, yeah, I know, it's a lot. But so I can tell you that, just in terms of overall impressions, and the over, 90% of them were in Western and Northern Norwalk, New Canaan's a small part. But, what I was really gratified was the people who answered the door. Half the people would always answer the door, roughly, give her, roughly half. So many people were just, very friendly, great conversations, obviously, not everyone's going to vote for everybody, but you know what, there was civility, there was friendliness, a lot of properties with flags, or symbols, or decorations that, were flag oriented. And I would say it's in the thousands, really quite a lot. And it was always a pleasure for me to walk on a property like that. It always felt very welcoming.
It warms
yes.
my little heart.
Yes, there's a lot out there. There really
You
is.
have a big heart, Jeff.
Fred, did you knock on Irene's door?
I'm not in his district.
Not
But
in
I
the
put-
district. Yeah, you're yes. I knocked on my own door.
Did anybody answer?
Yeah, I answered. I said, yeah, I like you. You look like a good guy. You know, I think I might vote for you.
As long as your wife on the other side said, no, he's home.
I hope your
known-
wife
I've
votes for
known-
you too.
Well,
I've
we'll see.
known Fred for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Fred, our kids went to school together, so
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Columbus Magnet School.
correct,
Yeah.
yeah. Volunteered together.
Yes.
Well,
Good time.
I grew up in, I was born and grew up in that neighborhood, which was Columbus School then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Fred, James is now in the Air Force.
Is he really?
Huh?
Oh, that's
Very proud.
wonderful.
Yeah, very
that's-
proud. Right now he's doing he finished basic, now he's doing air crew fundamentals, so we're very proud.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
he's
so-
gonna be a
Does he know where
loadmaster.
he's going to be stationed or?
Too early.
He's I don't know, but he's going to be a loadmaster. Jeff is right. So that's air crew. He'll be traveling the world. So
Yes.
exciting stuff for a kid.
Wow. So, yeah, Jeff, you don't mind, you've seen this photo, but so anyway, some people have asked me recently, Fred, what are your favorite photos from your life? Actually, family members. You know, it's not the general public who asks me these questions. But this one here, this photo is my dad,
Mhm.
Oh,
also, you know, well, Fritz Wilms, and he was in the Air Force, Irene.
cool.
James.
Oh,
And he's a technical sergeant, you can see.
Nice.
That picture, yep.
Yeah.
wow.
And this was his photo when he retired.
Oh, wow.
I think 1965 or 66. You know?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite photos of him. He looks really good.
Oh.
We're gonna
Yeah.
play that game. I wanted to also.
So
There's one. When I was 2 years old. My oldest brother was home after advanced training, was going overseas. My father marched everybody to a photo studio in South Norwalk. I
Yeah.
remember very well. I walked there,
That's so
even though I got my short pants on there, right? It was exactly 2 weeks after my second birthday.
wow, is that Army?
He was Army. My the other brother wasn't 18 yet. As soon as he was 18, he was in the service. And
Okay,
in
you're out.
fact, at the end of the war, he was on a troop ship getting ready for the invasion of Japan
Wow.
when they surrendered.
Wow.
He indicates to me that he told me many times that that night the sea was covered with empty beer cans.
Hmm,
Oh,
I'll
wow.
bet. Yeah.
Because that's one of the things you don't hear is a lot of times when the troops go in, beer is one of the first things they bring in.
Oh.
I don't think that happens anymore. I can tell you that we didn't
Well,
see a drop of
back
beer.
then they did.
My turn.
Yep.
All right.
That's my father.
Oh,
He
wow.
served 1950 to 1953. He went to MIT, was an engineering
Wow.
graduate, and when he graduated, he volunteered. And those were the exact 3 years of the Korean War, and he spent the whole
Wow.
time in France.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice
Very
posting.
nice.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice posting. Yeah.
Yeah, they were still rebuilding after World War II, so he got into the civil engineering side where they were rebuilding bridges and roads and that sort of thing, and that's kind of what he did. And then he
Wow.
did a little guard time also after that. But yeah, the best years of his life without a doubt. Spoke of it fondly, like everybody of that time frame did, you know. So, and Irene, you're married to an Air Force retiree too. So
Yep. Uh-huh.
How is Howard?
Howard's doing well. He also flew for the Air Force, and his father, who passed a couple of years ago, was also in the Air Force. Did Korea, World War II, Korea and Vietnam, and he was a flight engineer. So he traveled the world too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Well,
pretty
say
cool.
hi to Howard, will you? Irene?
Yeah.
I sure will. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a good time talking to you, Fred. You volunteered together too, plenty of times.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yep.
Good
Yep.
times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, big day tomorrow. You know, it doesn't really impact the veteran community. And, you know, we all know who says elections matter. Look at that.
Yeah.
It looks like an RBG outfit there with the lace.
That's what it is.
That's hilarious.
Halloween.
Well, I don't know. I can't tell you if it was Halloween, but it's certainly vote. Tell you, elections matter.
They do. Yep. And I think this is a big one. This is a big one nationally, and I sense a kind of movement in a different direction for a lot of people in the state. Thinking that it's been broken for a long time, and maybe it's time for a breath of fresh air and a different view of things. And I know, Fred, you bring that strong fiscal background and your experience, and
Banking, yep.
I hope you win and fix what's going on. And the unions are killing the state. And listen to me, I sound like I'm running for office. I'll stop there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's the whole climate is very volatile and variable. It's really kind of hard to kind of pin down or predict sometimes. But my feeling on it is that I'm really glad that I've been in this experience all year, campaigning and running for office again. And I did my very best. Reached out for help, got a lot of support, and at the end of the day, I look back and I say, you know what, I feel good about all of it. We'll just see what happens tomorrow. Take it from there.
That's right. That's all you can do. We had some candidates stop by the American Legion yesterday. The Legion does a flag ceremony the first Sunday of every month. And the fellow that's running against Jim Himes, Patricia Zuccaro is 143rd. She was there. Ellen Wink was there. So it was good to see them out, and by rule, the American Legion and the VFW have to be nonpartisan. So any candidate that showed up would have been welcome. If Bob Duff walked in the middle of that, and he's come to these ceremonies before, he would have been welcome too. But
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's exactly the way it should be. One of the candidates, and I can't remember who it was, planted approximately 40 yard signs in the front yard of the American Legion, and we had to promptly go out there and pull him up and call her office or his office.
Yeah,
I think it was a her, might have been Ellie Sidis, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So it's interesting. I just when the results start coming in, we'll see where we're at, and and Veterans Day, don't forget that. Win or lose, Fred, you're always welcome, and we'd love to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what it's next Wednesday or Thursday, the ceremony?
Wednesday the 11th.
Okay.
Starts at 10:30, and I'll put it all in the minutes. And
Okay.
you should start seeing some social media and some press releases. I know Josh Morgan from the mayor's staff. It's nice to have him kind of out there and in front of this. He'll talk to the Hour and News 12, and it's not me asking, it's the mayor asking this time. So that's very helpful, and nice to have access to him. And so there is a inclement weather plan, like I said, City Hall, and the start time will be 10:30 there too, if we have to move it. But right now it's showing a couple showers, but 63 degrees or something. So I mean, if we can hold off the rain and get it done, the schedule is about 45 minutes. Typically it runs an hour or more, but we did cut some things out. There's no band or anything. So, and I'll talk real fast and we'll get out of there as soon as we can. So,
Jeff,
Irene, do you have anything?
Jeff, if I may.
No, nothing new. No, everything's
Okay.
the same.
Very
Jeff, if
busy.
I may, Orlando keeps coming on. Maybe you want to engage him.
I am, yeah. I'm kind of doing the Brady Bunch thing. I went left side.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Well, the last, shall we say, piece of nothing is that one of Fred's constituents is Bob Duff.
No.
He lives in your territory.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
he's toilsome. He's 143.
Well, you just all right. Well, to get very whatever the word for maps are, but so the eastern boundary of the 142nd district starts in Wilton and goes down Grumman Avenue,
Right.
all the way down to Toilsome.
Oh.
Then it goes down Toilsome all the way down to Allen. So Bob lives on the east side of Toilsome. He's in the,
Yes.
he's actually in the 137th.
Oh, that's funny.
So he's in the 137th.
That's funny.
And the 143rd and the 137th, I think intersect on Scott Street, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Because Bob actually, before he became a state senator, he was a state rep for the
Yeah, I know.
137th.
I know.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Here's my son's graduating class.
Orlando, you're muted. Are you on? We've seen you come in and out. Calling Orlando Aquino. He might be having some technical difficulties, dropping in and out like that. Sometimes,
Internet connection.
yeah, Wi-Fi is sketchy or
Yeah.
wherever you're at, so. Look at there is no new business. Anybody good of the order, anything want to talk about? No? Okay. And we're all in agreement to meet again in January, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess I'll close by wishing all of you happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday, whichever one you celebrate in December.
Merry
Um,
Christmas.
Yep, and stay healthy.
Yeah,
Wear your
most
mask,
important.
wash your hands. Look at them go.
Stay safe.
What is the pink thing on there? What is that? Looks like a clown's nose or something. I don't know. Anyway, but good to see you all, and I'll get the minutes out and get it out to the community. And what a weird year. Looking forward to 2021. And I'm wearing my shirt, my Provincetown shirt. This is the only vacation I took this year. My
You
wife
took a
and I finally
vacation?
got out to P-Town at the end of Cape Cod. What a gorgeous place! My first time out
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
And,
really?
Yeah, we rented a little cabin in North Truro, which is a town just south.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Provincetown.
Oh, yeah. That's on the west side.
Yeah, had a great, fabulous time. Spent 4 nights there in this little cabin with an ocean view. It's awesome.
You go whale
Actually,
watching?
it was a Cape view. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you go whale watching?
Yeah, we did. And when we got done, they pulled back into the marina and said, "Thanks for coming. Don't bother coming back. You got one of the best trips we've ever had." Who knew?
Mhm.
Got lots of film and pictures and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
always good. Irene, good to see you. Thank you for all your support.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. I know Nick's back now, and so a couple of those vouchers, we'll get those pushed
Yes.
out and get done. So
Yes. Yes.
Dan Caparel, who's been on and off this committee, he's in Cancun right now.
Oh,
for 2
Wow.
weeks. So yeah,
Oh,
it's his wife's
Lovely.
birthday today too. So I hope they're having a good time. He just turned 80. He's been struggling a little bit with some health things and has dropped off the old Norfolk Veteran Memorial Committee. He has resigned from that as well. And so that position's vacant. As a matter of fact, if you want to put out the word, anybody that would like to take that chairmanship on, right now the vice chair is the American Legion commander. And we're still meeting. We're still planning Veterans Day. And I have a guest speaker for Shea McGrath ceremony in May, third weekend in May, all lined up already. So yeah, that's about it. So it is 6:38. Irene, we're done 12 minutes early. Yeah.
Awesome. Great job.
Yeah. Thanks. Good to see you all. Be safe.
All right.
Take
Take
care.
care.
yes.
All right.
Take care.
Good
Bye.
luck, Fred.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right.